2022. So termination of quorum, we have 3 board members here, so we have a quorum. We could have citizen comments if we wanted. But
No comment?
Got a citizen there.
okay, but he wants to talk about the
He wants to
items
know.
further down the line. So we need an approval of the minutes of the previous board meeting, and apparently the last valid board meeting was on 15th of September of 2021.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes.
I'll second.
We have a motion, we have a second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous, Abel.
Yes, sir.
So December, we did not have a meeting. January, no meeting. Item number 5, discuss and consider financials. So Abel, do you have anything?
So I had the end of year and I was speaking with Megan right now. I had printed some out. And she said, they weren't, as of these are the last ones I had printed in December. She mentioned to me that it wasn't all finalized just yet, so that the figures could have switched over or changed a little bit, but that was the numbers at the end of December.
Middle of the fiscal year, so can't tell a whole lot about this, but are there
Yeah.
any questions about that?
No, sir.
So has the ramp grant from last year been received?
Yes, and this is what was actually submitted. For reimbursement. These are the ones that, was that enough?
It's taken together, but that's- So you know that the TechStop will reimburse up to $50,000 in ramp
Mhm.
grants.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and the person I spoke to, Amy Slaughter, that works with the ramp, they actually start us off, I think at 15 automatically. She keeps it 15 continuous every year. We can ask for more, they can amend it if we need to, which we may have to this next coming, or this year.
Well, it's 50 cents on the dollar, so
Yeah, yes, sir.
anything you can get in there that's legitimate,
Yeah.
I think you should be turning it for. So we got a copy of the financials here through,
December.
these are
Yes,
through
sir. Yeah.
December, okay. So item number 6, are there any communications to discuss?
Not that I'm aware, nothing that wouldn't be separate from the later items
Okay.
on the agenda.
Any meetings or inspections has happened?
We had an inspection on the ramp and the work that the seal coating that they had done and the striping for the runway.
Okay, that's all
recently.
complete?
Yes, sir. That one is done, and later on we'll get to it also.
Have there been new or reassigned leases?
Nothing new. No, sir. Just inquiries about getting leases for hangars, wanting to get hangars, but nobody that, most of them just want to rent from someone or
Right.
get the space. They don't want to actually build an entire hangar. But
These are small airplanes,
Yes,
big
sir.
airplanes?
Yeah, there's a bigger one, one of the Air Mids, a different company than the one that's actually out there.
So it's like a King Air size?
Where they were trying to get, they were asking us about leasing a space, but we don't have anything. We mentioned it to that Woodward does plane or hangar space. But
Right.
I don't know if they'd want to be in there with all.
So you put them in touch with them?
Yeah.
So, and you want to talk about a fly-in?
Well, yeah, that's what was brought up by Megan, but I'm not familiar with the fly-ins and how they work a whole lot. Have not attended one. I guess you
James
could
is.
say.
You're pretty familiar with that, ain't you, Jane? With the Pecos?
Isabel is, I'm not.
Ah,
But usually, we usually, like a flying breakfast, you get somebody to feed. And what we did in Pecos was we got the chamber to come out and feed.
Mhm.
So I don't know if that's feasible or not, but you might talk to the chamber.
I did talk to Chris. He's a tourism. What's his last name?
Yeah.
Ruja, yes. And asked him, and he said, well, you might ask the pilots what they're about, because a lot of the things that we came up with were alcohol related events. We're like, well, they could come down and maybe for gallery night. Well, you can't really do that. He's like, there's breweries that might do something, but he's like, you can't do that because it's alcohol related. 4th of July events, which would be closer to something like that. He's all, but you have to or they're going to want to come down for a reason. You have to have something going on or something that brings them in.
food.
In town?
Yeah, in town also, yeah. Food does. Well, the alcohol does too, but they're not allowed to. We don't want to do anything with that and then have something happen.
We didn't usually do that. We just picked the weekend because the guys fly in, they fly back home.
Okay.
I mean, the guys in the corporate airplanes come in and stay for the week, but not the.
Yeah, and I'd asked
General aviation,
somebody
but-
else out there, one of the other pilots, and he said, well, he's all, you want him to fly in? He's all, but there's nothing here at the airport that really happens. He's all,
Well,
They're
but-
flying
but
in, maybe
it's
you
a
could tie
community of
something in.
pilots, that's what it is. We
Yeah.
visit with each other. That's
Yeah.
the whole point of doing it.
and maybe get the tourism to sponsor some type of meal
Well,
with it.
yeah, I don't know. We don't know about that. We didn't do the tourism.
That's where. it would
There
be.
he is.
Keep you guys waiting. Didn't know if I was gonna make it back or not.
We haven't been waiting.
And that was the thing with the fly-in. I was like, maybe associating some type of free passes somewhere, to the college museum or.
Well, usually people that fly in don't have transportation anyway. so
Yeah,
that's-
well, that was another thing too. And then I was like, well, I mean, our
I mean,
ramp
normally,
space doesn't have for a big group.
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't have enough anywhere to,
So even just hanging out at the airport with the,
yeah, I mean, that's what it would basically.
normally
Yeah,
we just
that's
eat
what it
on the
is.
ramp or whatever. I mean,
Uh-huh.
just set up some chairs and some tables.
Hanging out.
you have to reach down your pocket there and fork out some money for a brisket there, Abel.
$10.
That'd be nice though. There at the airport.
Then, I mean.
Destination AWAS is
Get somebody else, I mean, because I don't know a whole lot of pilots, so I think, I guess I'll get with Isabel and see if she has more. Yeah, the meal thing wouldn't be too bad.
Well, anyway, that's the way we do it. That's the way it's been done in Odessa and Midland and Crane
And
and
the turnouts are
Pecos.
fair,
Oh, yeah.
20,
Usually,
30,
I would say plus or minus 20 airplanes.
okay.
But
And
they
that's
don't
over
come in
there.
and stay. They come in and eat breakfast and visit with each other and then they.
Check out the
fly back
area
home,
and then
you know.
get out of here.
So I don't know about.
Okay,
trying to-
maybe we could get them something else just for coming. Have Heather with not the chamber, someone at the city,
Yeah.
so visitor center, with the visitor
Yeah.
center, yeah, to make some bags or something also.
That Alvarez,
Cups.
what's his name?
Oh, yeah, the radio.
Yeah, he
Robert.
always has
Robert.
visit Big Ben stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the county tour, yeah.
That's him.
I can get with him and see what he can do.
Hey, he'll come up with the bag for some goodies.
Put him on the radio or something.
Well, he'll probably go live right there.
Live from the out.
So you're gonna check on those different options.
Yeah. Gives me a better idea, yeah, what to include.
So James, Alpine's kind of off the beaten path. Would folks show up?
I think so, sure. People like to fly in Alpine.
No, it's
fly
not
to the
like
mountains
over-
and-
Over in
People
central
don't know.
Texas, it's 30 miles between every airport over there.
Yeah,
Out here, it's a little bit longer run. Not quite so many people left. And again, that's why we're out here.
Yeah,
that's right.
true.
So we have a noise complaint.
Yes, a single noise, well, yeah, we've been having a single noise complaint from a gentleman,
What's the name?
Steve Bilardo.
Again?
Yeah, I guess you know who it is. You've had issue. Yeah, he had come in a couple months ago complaining about his complaint seemed to be more helicopters this time with CBP and DPS from what I
And the
get.
medics and
Yeah. Well, so when I did, I started keeping track of helicopters when they would fly through, or planes that were leaving out. And the main ones I noticed were the ones going to the hospital. That was and I mentioned to him, I said, hey, give me a time, date, if you could get a tail number, if they're that low, you'll, and sure enough, he came in one morning, had a picture, he goes, there's your problem right there. And it was a medevac that was parked at the hospital.
Does he live under the approach to the
Yes,
mountain?
Yes.
that was the issue too. And he even mentioned, he goes, I know what the FAA is gonna tell me, that,
So what do you complain?
he knew there was an issue, he's all, but maybe you could get these guys to detour a little bit. He's all, it doesn't take much for them to go a little bit further out. And I said, well, a lot of these that don't land at the airport, I can't really control, or if they don't, radio in to me. We can't say, hey, can you change your flight path to maybe a few miles out, to avoid it. In fact, we had a gentleman come in yesterday, just out of the blue. He said he hadn't been here since October. He goes, last year when I flew in, I got a letter from the FAA for a low flying aircraft.
This was a medevac?
No, it was just a guy, he had flown some people in,
Oh, okay.
and he was just there sitting with us waiting.
Yeah.
Riley was talking to him, he goes, man, I come here every so often. He goes, last time I was here, I got complained on. He's all, I called him up, FAA, told him, hey, this is what, oh, well, there's nothing we could do about it. And the person I had spoken to, because I followed up, tried to get the noise complaint out of Lubbock, I spoke to a gentleman with the FAA, and he said, well, how far is this guy? I go, well, he's within a mile of the airport. So he's all, any pilot will tell you they're either landing or they're taking off. He's all, and he was in charge of pilots and aircraft complaints. And he goes, and that's all they have to tell me. There's nothing.
Well,
He's all, the noise would be something else. He's all, that would be a different department, which I left a message, but I never got an answer from.
my suggestion would be to type up a little notice thing and just have like a stack of 15 or 20 of them. And so somebody calls in or comes in with a noise complaint, and you just peel one off the top of the stack. Here's the FSDO's number. This is the guy you talk to. And
Yeah,
Thank you. Have a nice day.
yeah,
short and sweet.
yeah, I mean, I live over close to Fifth Street. I mean, if we're gonna talk about noise, I could start talking about how many times I have to listen to the siren running up and down the street. Fifth Street,
Yeah.
all hours of the day. It's,
And I mean, I get the noise too over here. I live over here by
Sure.
Buck Stadium
yeah,
from the planes come leaving at
Yeah.
times. But that was the only complaint that he did make it seem like he had more people that had
that's
complaints.
the reason
but
you need
I
about
said,
10
well,
copies of this
so-
notice. Give him
Just a
5 of
passing
them, say, okay, hand them one out to everyone, let them all call the pistol.
Oh, he will. He'll
Well-
get people to sign it, don't know what an airplane is.
He
did
has
in the
mentioned
past.
to me that he feels that the city has a responsibility for that noise that's occurring over his property. And I really don't understand how the city is responsible, but he's quite certain of it. Is there any way you or one of the guys could look into that and see?
That's what I'm trying to
if
get,
there is any-
trying to get
The
some
pistol-
information on.
Okay.
it.
See what the city's responsibility is, if there is
Mhm.
an additional responsibility. I know he would like to basically publish a different route for approaching the airport or whatnot, but
That's
that gets into the airspace of,
FAA
And that's
controls
not-
all that.
Yeah, and
The
FAA
city-
said you don't control the airspace above your
Yeah.
house. Sorry,
I-
there's no.
I think at the very most, the city could, put on a NOTAM, just caution for noise northeast of the airport. I don't know if that'll do anything or not.
And like I said,
think-
I put it as a single complaint because
Right.
there hasn't been,
He's had issues
A
with
majority
this
of them.
for 10 years. I mean, it's been an
At
ongoing
least,
issue. Yeah, probably ever since he built his house there.
ever since he sold his airplane.
Yeah,
he is a pilot.
Yeah, he is a pilot. He is.
yeah, which I thought was kind of interesting too.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I've talked to some of the other people around there. They don't feel as strongly about it, but he's very adamant that that's invading his privacy.
Oh, yeah, he said if he could sell his house and move, he would, just to get out of that noise area. So.
Well, there's the thought. Let's discuss quarterly report to the council.
So this was something that the council had set up not too long ago for the boards and the organization that they have to give reports, quarterly reports on their organizations. At the, last night, I want to say it was the Parks board came in, and it was their first one. So she kind of just said what it was, what they did, and a little bit about what they're working on. Just a quick summary, which is what they want from most of the boards now. Just to throw it in there, I guess, a heads up, so when we get called, we'll know.
Any discussions on that?
That's fine.
Item 10, application to build the awning.
You want to hear from her?
I didn't know if you wanted to talk first, since your name is
Oh,
on here.
well,
so-
yeah, he had put in the application or to change the awning, which we got the study done, the airspace study, and it was okayed by
By the FAA.
By the
got
FAA,
approved
which
by the FAA.
I think I had sent that out to everybody. I don't know
Oh,
if you-
did you?
I might
Yeah,
pictures.
yeah. you
take a
can-
look. If you got it, yeah, I hadn't looked at it recently.
It's just both awnings go out 12 feet, and there won't be a post down. It'll
Okay,
just be a little,
little gusset.
yeah,
Brace.
Okay.
and that shows just an aerial view of it. And see, there's where they're parking, and it doesn't even come out to the end of the parking space.
Okay.
And
Can I see
actually,
it?
I measured it off and worked. And
Thank you.
I think the only concern that we had was larger winged aircraft being able to
Yeah.
have clearance.
Yeah.
Taxiing.
And that's
getting
why-
out of there,
we moved it back. We started at 15 feet,
right?
to go to the end of the parking lot.
So they're
And then
not
when
sticking out
I
very
measured
far. I
it, we
thought
moved
they
it back to
were coming
12
out
feet.
3 feet in from
Yeah,
what it was.
And they're just covering these.
Which still,
It's only
it's
over
still
these two
the
doors.
Right.
passes the
There's
limit
no-
for the 37
There's
and a
no
half.
down.
37,
below
and it's-
27.
it's still longer.
Gusset.
40
Right.
and 37 and a half is the limit.
37 and a half.
So I
is the
think
limit.
it's good.
The actual from the awning to the center is 40 now.
It's actually, yeah, it might even be a little bit more,
Okay.
Yeah.
give or take, yeah. A few feet.
So we,
Yeah.
so we need to do some sort
This,
of,
yeah, this will be, the action item will be to do that for the,
okay, do you have that written up? So-
no,
So that
I
we
think
can
it's,
vote on it?
it's supposed to be written up by the board
Oh, okay,
and just given to the airport manager, which would be Megan.
okay.
I mean, you can type it up, send it to me, and then I'll pass it on.
Okay.
So he can get started with
Let's
this.
take a vote on it.
Take a vote, I guess.
Yeah.
I
right.
I recommend that we approve the awnings.
And I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second, so all in favor?
Right. So I can call and start, at least get on his list, because it'll
Get on
be
this
still
list, yes.
weeks. Thank y'all very much.
Yes.
Sure.
So you have a report on the helicopter landing pad.
Yes, so final
Have a
contract
good day. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Was signed by CDP. That's what we're waiting for them to work out a contract since they don't go by the regular contracts that everyone else does. Government follows their own. And it was finally signed on the 14th of January. After, I believe, close to 2 years.
Yes.
Having been,
So that's the lease? The
yeah,
lease
so
is-
they're ready to start. They went and got the girl called me from the permit office couple
So
last
that's
week,
the city,
getting, so they could get started on that.
okay. So everything is set up there, and they have the building permit?
Yes, sir.
They're gonna
They're
put-
getting the building permit, and yeah, they should be started sometime soon. I know they've been trying to start since last summer they wanted to get started, but that was an issue with the agreement, the lease. They didn't like what we put. In fact, I think it went back and forth with Rod for a couple of times before they agreed to an amount.
All right, very good. Item B is the airport zoning board.
So the council was determining how to choose the board members, qualifications, rules. That was the last I've heard of it. I guess I'll speak with Megan and see how I'm not sure if the council members choose somewhere. How does that? Do you recall how they choose those individuals?
I remember years ago, I think Jimmy and I volunteered.
Yeah, they
to do it,
volunteered to be
but
on.
We've
the
never done
zoning
anything.
And nothing
board.
ever came of that?
But you gotta get
Supposed to
two
meet with
people
some
from
county
the
folks, right?
Yeah, I think the county was supposed to have some kind of participation. but-
Yeah, and bring
So
their own
the
also?
city manager then coordinates with their own government plus the county government in order to appoint the folks from there's two people from the city, two people from the county, and then I think there's a fifth person that's called for to be on the board. So the city owns the board or the airport, city owns the airport. So then they, and this is a grant assurance thing, this airport zoning board. So the city then basically is in charge to organize the joint airport zoning board. So we passed a resolution a year or so ago that recommended that James and then also Cade represent the city side. So you have that resolution somewhere
Mhm.
in the file.
It was Jimmy and Kate.
Oh, Jimmy or
Yeah, it's
James.
Jimmy now.
the other James?
You don't accept James. James is okay, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Just
Yeah.
got two Jameses.
You get it done already?
You already
Yeah.
finished?
I talked to Alex Wright. He's doing some work out there right now, and he
Yeah.
should get done with that in a couple of weeks. And then we'll start on those awnings. Is that okay? I don't need to get anything else.
Yeah, I think once he types up the letter, I'll just give it to Megan, and I'll give you a call then. I think he's working on the inside part, correct?
No, he's already done.
He's already
the
done
inside
that?
part.
Okay.
He's working
helping
for
on the
somebody
doors.
else. Doing
Okay.
some other
Oh,
work.
that's the one that's doing
Yeah,
yours?
taking the old door off the skin. right
So you
now.
don't want me to approve it till he finishes your doors?
What's that?
You don't want me to tell him anything till they
Oh,
finish the
I
doors?
think he's just gonna take the sheet metal off and then we'll talk about it in a second, but we're gonna need a crane to lift that door up. So that's gonna be up high, so we've got some work to do on that. So maybe in between, you can get over there.
Nah, maybe
But
so.
that's up to Alex, whatever.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Main thing is I got it approved here, so
Yeah,
we
good to go.
start going forward, and then you'll just call me or email me when I get a document, or,
Yes, sir.
okay, thanks.
Okay, send you a
Thank you.
copy of it, I guess.
That'll probably be tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, depending on when the
Anything else on the airport zoning board? So we have an item of repairs to taxiway in front of the DPS hangar.
So we try to get, when we had the seal coating done and the guys come in to do the paint, the striping. And they said they wouldn't be able to do that area. They said that would be the responsibility of the hangar owner or the city,
We've never been down that road.
depending on.
We've already been down this road.
Yeah, too many times. Yeah, because they said it. If they park a vehicle there and it blocks the entry, then that's their personal area.
Oh, we won't park there no more then.
You park somewhere else.
Yeah, we'll park
You
in the
know,
dirt.
like, what if somebody parks there in front of yours, like, right? Like, I guess how you have your little,
Little concrete.
yeah, slab, it'd be something similar.
But the main damage is out there by the taxiway, isn't it?
Yeah, where
Away from the
CDP
door.
used that.
Where they set the crane on
Crane.
there. Yeah, that's where your main problem is. It's
Yeah,
not in
you-
front of the door.
You seen us pull out that chopper. I think it's
Oh,
about
yeah.
to flip flop.
So is that the contractor said that or TechStop? Or
Yeah, that's what he was saying.
what is-
Ryan, I think is in Ryan.
What is
Oh, that's
TechStop's
from
position
he's
on
from
it?
Tech Stop.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Oh, that was TechStop.
Yeah, I
think so.
Okay.
those guys are, we ran into that whenever they're doing the taxiway work,
Right,
and they're not gonna do anything except what's precisely listed in the plans.
right, yeah.
And so if the city didn't get that worked in, and we never got a chance to review the plans before they were sent back to Tech Stop, so we didn't know anything about it. I knew that we knew the work needed to be done at DPS, that taxiway, but we never saw the design layout or proposal or plans or any of that.
Right.
So Tech Stop then is not gonna fix it.
Mhm.
So in my opinion, it's city's ramp, and so the city needs to arrange to get it fixed. So,
Yeah, because it's not actually Catherine's.
She doesn't pay lease on that.
No, she don't pay lease on that.
right,
Otherwise, she would have done it a long time ago and she would have upped our rent. But we had to deal with this.
Everybody gotta get the mic.
Yeah, and it didn't work that way. The city actually owns
And
it.
he even said, you know, when he looked at it, he goes, it'll cost about 20 grand, is what he said, because he goes, you're not doing all the way to where the other hangar. Is that what it is? Another small hangar over there right next to you guys?
Yeah.
It has something?
Yeah.
He goes, you're not gonna go that far. You just wanted it up to where one of your doors opens, I think, all the way.
Mhm.
And that's where he was like, if you do it up to here, and that would be concrete. But they looked at it and they were like, you know, they said, no, we won't be able to do it because the way it's located.
you're talking about the Tech Stop guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they were willing to maybe work with us a little bit, you know, depending on where it was. You know, if they had materials left over. He goes, we might be able to work something in just, and then when they looked at it, they said, no, where it's located, it's right here. He's all that's.
Hey, what about the guy from the streets department? Is there any way he can go look and say, hey, we can cut a path for you guys that go right in here? Kind of just like repave it just to where we're not, so, you know, it doesn't have to be pretty, but, cut it out a little bit, summertime, spring, better weather.
I could ask.
Who's in charge of streets?
Well, Eddie does the streets, but then they'd have to get the money to get for the materials
Yeah.
to do the.
I
To do the
wonder,
work
since it serves two different hangars, two different owners.
this way.
Yeah, because there's that one hangar that Zance, I believe,
Zan-
and then Catherine's hangar, they both use that same, it's kind of a common.
And I don't think I've ever seen
Ramp grant,
that one open.
Yeah,
Yeah, they don't open it very often. They're not there a whole lot.
No,
So if the city were to hire somebody to pave it, then.
Well, they did say, yeah, you could get somebody to do it and then be,
50 cents on the dollar.
yeah, but it would be, the city would have to approve paying that or actually doing it.
Correct. Okay. Well, the taxiways belong to the city, so that's. All we can do is talk about it and provide some advice that you should try to get it worked out so the city street department so if you're going to get paid back for half of it, then 10,000 is what it would be to fix the taxiway out there. DPS is a good customer, so you guys should be bending over backwards to do what you can to keep them happy.
I like it.
Megan had mentioned, I think last year at some point, that there might be some funds available in the January, first part of February for some stuff like this. And I haven't gotten any updates from her, but I don't know where that's at. Have you heard anything on that?
Get with me after.
Okay.
Yeah, only because it's not on the, yeah, it didn't make the agenda.
All right.
So we need to talk about the gas pump.
Yeah, it had been slowed up a little bit. We just had to replace a fuel filter a while back. This happened months ago.
So it's fixed now?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's already done.
I mentioned that to Isabel and she said, well, just put it in there so they'll know that it was fixed. And that's all it was. It's a separate, another little filter that we had to improvise. They don't make that certain one, so you have to use a different one.
Just don't let any water in there.
Yeah,
So
well, it makes it warm.
repairs to the hangar 32 door. Cade's going to talk about that.
So reason I wanted to mention this is we had some engineering updates in the door and it looks like we're going to need a crane to hang the door. Originally, we had planned on using 2 forklifts to hang the door, but the weight and the size and with the wind and everything, the engineers are saying we're gonna have to have at least a 20-ton crane to be able to position that door to hang it in there correctly. Now, there's not any dimensions changing, no height or anything, but the fact that we're gonna have a crane there, that's gonna extend above the tops of the hangars. Potential airspace hazard, we need to post a NOTAM. What else do we need to do? I'm not aware of anything
The
else.
NOTAM is probably
But
all.
posting a NOTAM, so I guess I need to get with them on the date,
They said they're gonna be,
get that well in advance, make sure that NOTAM's posted. Shouldn't be there but a few hours, but I just wanted to give everybody a heads up that that might be something that we're gonna be looking at here pretty soon. It would no sooner than 2 weeks, but that's what we're gonna have to have a big crane there to hang that door.
That sounds expensive.
You don't wanna know.
For
I'm
the
just
school
looking
per
forward to
hour.
pushing that button and watching the door go.
make it easier for you.
Yeah. Well, we can't open and close them anymore. It's not too bad.
Yeah,
They just don't
I
work.
think you left
Quick.
them open for
The
a while.
last
just
6
to-
months they've been
Just to
open.
not even
Yeah, because
mess with
it just doesn't work.
Just had to leave them open.
Yeah. That's all I have on that, unless y'all have any questions or concerns.
I had an old door up when we were flying our ambulance up at Childress.
Oh, yeah.
We couldn't open and close it. And I finally rigged a deal with the forklift, went over there and pushed it up and pulled it closed.
Oh,
So we
really?
could get in and out.
Just use the forklift.
Yeah. No, not up, it's sideways.
Oh, sideways.
Yeah, the
Oh,
old rollers, the old World War II hangers, you know,
Yeah.
the rollers are all worn out and everything.
Wow.
So had to push it open and pull
Wow.
it closed.
I was up there last week. I was wondering why they wouldn't let me in any of the hangars. I asked them, hey, can I hang here? And they said, no, we don't have anything in big hangars everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
They remember.
The rehab job on runway 01. You have a report on that?
They did a final inspection on the 1st of February. Lochner and one of the engineers came down. And they're not gonna give the okay, the all okay clearing that it's done till they complete the other 2
There were
airfields.
4 of them.
There was three, yeah, three with us, and then there was some more. I think
Right.
ours was with Marfa and Ozona. So he said, we're not gonna close off that till those are done, inspected, and Ozona was being stopped for like a month. He goes, well, but the good thing on that is your warranty won't start till we actually finalize.
But there's no more work to be done out there.
Yeah, so they finalize it, then the warranty kicks in for a year.
Right.
So,
But the work on the ground is finished.
oh, yes, here it is, yes.
Right.
It's just, we're just waiting for the other projects to finish their, complete their.
And what word do you have on the lighting replacement? project?
He said he was gonna get back to me. He's pending funding for the fiscal year 2022.
Is that TechStop?
Yes. It's a 90-10 match, so I think we had set aside, what, 42 or was it 50 something previous that we needed to.
And the AWAS relocation project?
That one is pending and it may even be moved. It's either gonna be a fiscal year 24 or 25. And it is a replacement and relocation. And it's a 75-25 match for that one. Which with our match being the 43,000.
I hope it lasts that long.
Yeah, well, yeah. And we got when the last time they came in for an inspection, I think in December. Or the 1st of January, the guy even mentioned, he goes, hey, see if you can keep this, your little tower. You know, because they make them now where they're just, they don't bend. He's also, you have to climb up there and figure out a way to change the bulbs or anything.
Just that little mast where the.
Yeah.
Where the.
He's
monitor is?
maybe they'll let you keep
There's
your
no
arm.
pivot.
Yeah, they'll let you keep that little arm that bends, and because the newer ones,
You can get a basket and do that.
yeah. But to take off the screw or the bolts and just turn it down and then.
So that's a good thing? He's saying
It's
that's a good
easier,
thing?
yeah,
That's how the windsocks are, right? You can just fold them down.
yeah, yes.
So-
Yeah, kind of the same concept.
So whenever the design comes through here, like TechStop will send the design over there
Oh, no, I'll hide it.
for approvals,
No,
then,
I'll let you guys see.
then that's when you would say, okay, look, we want to keep the mass that we have. And that's when you would write it up.
Yeah.
Because if you don't get it put in there, then TechStop's not gonna, they won't change it later. So that's the reason, that's the reason for the benefit of when that design stuff comes through. If everybody gets to look at it, then different sets of eyes look at it, and might come across something that would be helpful. Wouldn't cost any more. But if it's not specifically written, then TechStop won't let you do anything different.
Mhm. And he did say it was one of the older ones he's seen.
I
One
think
of the
he's-
oldest ones in Texas, I think.
Yes, he's told us that it is, and when it quits, then that's it. We call him Martha to try to get weather information. And now it's been put off till 2025.
Possibly. It just depends. It's either gonna be 24 or 25.
What does it depend on? TechStop or it's the city?
Funding,
On the city?
no. They're in.
You don't know the difference between some of the AWASs that are maintained by the FAA versus AWASs that are maintained by the airport sponsor. I believe the one in Marfa is FAA maintained. And
Yeah, I
they
don't
cover
know.
the cost of maintenance and they send personnel out to repair it. I think they have to pay the Versala contract or whatever that charge is, the city or the county over there does. But the way I understand, the FAA is basically the underwriter for the AWACS. And there's different ones have different sponsor. I don't know if there's a way to get sponsored by the FAA to do one.
So one of the problems that the city faces is, I mean, the city knows that that's one of the oldest AWASs out. And I know over the last couple of years, we get reports. Johnny was saying that the inspector guy says there's no more parts. The thing quits. it's down. And the city's problem is that then there is some sort of emergency action that would have to be taken to try to get something to work. And the city could end up spending more than the 43,000 their share to try to get some sort of emergency situation in place. So they just need to make consideration as to severity of the problem and what the consequences would be if the AWAS actually quits and can't be repaired. So then there's some operations that probably would have to be moved to a different airport. But then you lose lots of revenue on fuel sales. So there's more money involved than just making a little spot in the budget several years from now to pay the 25% share, in my opinion. The airport capital improvement projects, LOI sent tech stop.
Yeah, so this was pushed up to the fiscal year 2023. Since this helps with the planning, growth and future development at the airport. Planning, which would, the AWAS would fall under that. Give us to relocate. It would give us better plans for it, CIP plans, layout drawings, property maps. And this one's a federal grant that was 90-10 split, with the city being 25,000.
And that's just for the plan.
Yeah.
That's for the master plan. Well, AWAS, that's
Separate, yes, sir. Yeah, that one's 175.
right.
Yeah, when you talk to those maintenance, you talk to the maintenance people on the AWAS at all?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. I mean, I did this last time, yes.
Yeah, you might.
There's
I was
actually
curious
two
about what
individuals.
exactly is gonna go out, because I think they're talking, I thought maybe they're talking about the radio portion of it. You may still get information in the office, and if you do, you can give weather reports to people inbound,
Mhm.
current winds and altimeters.
Oh, okay, I get what you're saying, yes.
So you may be using the radio a lot more than you have been. So just something to think about.
You're like, somebody had to stay out there 24 hours a day.
Right.
No, you don't have to. It's a volunteer thing. It's not mandatory. You don't have to have an AWAS.
Well, Senator, will they approve? I guess it's just one, well, like it is now, just one approach, IFR approach, if there's no weather reporting.
Yeah.
There are 2.3 IFR approach now,
Yes, sir. There's an RNAV to Q3
and
and
the 1.9 and 2.3, I think.
yes, sir.
The 1.9 would be approved with no AWAS?
I don't know, that's the question. Would they be able to clear an aircraft to follow an IFR approach with no weather reporting?
I wouldn't want to. If I didn't know what the altimeter setting was and
Yeah.
what the ceilings were.
That would be up to the individual aircraft, I think.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
But
I just-
like our ambulance, they wouldn't
Well,
come in
wouldn't
at
fly
night.
the-
No, they're not gonna- they're not
Especially if it's IFR.
no.
But they may shoot the approach down to wherever they
Yeah.
minimums, and then
Well,
they
that's
don't.
If they don't have a radar altimeter, they don't know if their
Yeah.
altimeter's right.
Yeah. Or reported, they use Martha's altimeter.
Or Martha's.
Yeah. If the local one isn't good.
Yeah, but the ceiling report certainly wouldn't apply to Alpine.
No, that's different.
It's hugely different between Marfa and Alpine.
Uh-huh.
So the point once again is that if the AWAS quits, and if there's no way to get that information to inbound traffic, then most corporate airplanes are just going to move. And that's where your big sales, the big fuel sales are.
That'd be in bad weather.
Yeah.
Not on VFR approaches.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, and medevac. I mean, like, what if, something happens and the medevac guy either can't get out, if there were to be some problem because he didn't have access to AWAS, something bad happen.
For 135 departures, they have higher minimums, part 91 departures, you can depart 00.
Right,
But for 135, they have to have
Minimum.
ceiling, visibility,
Yeah.
right,
depending on how their op specs are written. So
right.
they may have to have a verifiable weather before.
Yeah, they have to
depart.
be able to return to the airport, so they have to have IFR minimum
Yeah,
so they
get
can take
back
off.
in. Mhm.
Yeah. Corporation is not going to accept the liability of AWAS not working. Oh. Alpine Advisory Board. So we're making mention that there's some pretty big issues about the AWAS.
Yeah, in relation to fuel cells.
Number 12,
Which was also number 10.
which is also number 10. Okay, so we've done that. Any board member comments? Is there any word on the paving project?
That was a question I asked Abel a while ago. He said he was going to get with me after, since it's not published on the agenda.
Oh, okay. Items for the next agenda. We'll discuss that with the secretary. Schedule next meeting. Do we need to meet a month from now? Do we have things pending that we need to talk about? Do we want to meet every month? Or actually, it's not, even though the statute states it's our choice. I guess Geo decides now, right? When we meet?
It would be the 16th also. of March.
March 16th.
Hey there, it's Gio. So y'all, it's up to your discretion if you want to meet monthly. I believe the ordinance says that y'all are going to meet at least quarterly. So, as long as it's on the same day every month, same time, so we can have that, on a rolling schedule. It's pretty much up to you. I just wait till I receive an agenda from Isabel to schedule.
And it's the third Wednesday of each month, right? I mean, that's, or giving
That's right.
team. Yeah.
No, the third Wednesday at 1:15.
Third Wednesday, okay.
Well, I recommend we meet once a month, just to keep up with what's going on. If we did quarterly, we'd be so far behind keeping track of everything, I think.
True.
Yeah, even if it's just to say hi.
Every month I can ask Abel about the ramp. Get that kicked around and kind of see.
And
Maybe ask
I
him.
heard a report that the C-130 landed here last month or so.
Yeah,
I've heard
me
that
too.
I've never seen
Everybody's
them.
called
Get a
me.
low pass, I think.
Two. landed.
No,
I've
they
seen
just flew by.
I did see them
They
fly
just-
by.
they
but
flew
They
low.
said at night.
It was at
one or two of them
night.
Landed or
No,
something.
these were during the day.
I don't
I
know.
saw the ones in the daytime, but
Yeah.
I didn't see.
They didn't
them.
land?
I don't think,
No, they just flew by.
I don't think they can do that without they have to know what the load bearing surface
Yeah,
is.
what is our
Rated
wheel?
at.
Is it 18,000 per wheel? Or what is our load? You know?
For ours, I want to say, yeah, I thought it was 12.5. But I'll check.
Okay.
It's
Yeah, it
pretty-
depends how heavily loaded they are. If they're unloaded, they're probably fine, but a loaded C-130 is probably exceeding.
Yeah, I don't know what an unloaded weighs, but that's, how many wheels do they have?
I think
2, 4,
there's
6,
four on
8?
each
There's a lot.
side of the mains, and those are
Eight.
duals.
There's
or-
4 on each side and then there's 2 on each wheel. So you
Yes.
divide that out by 12,000.
16, and then you got 18 in the front, maybe.
So what's the biggest Gulf Stream you've seen out there?
A
I mean, that's-
G4.
Yeah,
G5.
I've seen a G4.
Yeah.
Maybe-
And
Maybe a
you
G5.
don't think that
We had
each
a
wheel has
G5.
got more than 12,000 pounds on it?
Depends on how much fuel they have.
Yeah.
All right, we need a motion to adjourn.
I make the motion we adjourn.
I'll second that.
We have
Give
motion
that
to
a
adjourn
try.
and a second, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That was unanimous. Abel?
That